And back to Taki. Griffin with a big offensive board and with the stuff. St. Joe's coming off of a 6-point overtime win against VCU on Wednesday. That snapped a 2-game losing streak and avenged a 6-point loss at GW as Chris Clover's connecting. He's a guy who, Mark, his numbers have been inconsistent. They need to get him going.
He's an undersized big who can shoot the three. And let me tell you, David, Phil Martelli loves to see his first shot from behind the arc goes down because that is their weakness. You mentioned it with Charlie Brown out with the wrist. Phil Martelli thought he was going to have him on the wing, their best three-point shooter. He's out for the season. And now to see Clover come down and knock down the first shot, that's huge. And then, as you mentioned, the injury bug crept in, and now they're just surviving.
Mobley with the swipe. Brockington, the Philly native, in front of his home faithful family and friends, Solos.
How great is that? The young freshman Isaiah Brockington from Archbishop Ryan High School. He's got about 100 guys here, folks. Leading off with a dunk on the fast break. That doesn't get any better when you're a freshman. In a lot of 5-out, no-in offenses, if you dribble towards your teammate and they deny, Dave, you go back door.
There's no basket. The foul is going to be on Matt Mobley, but Brockington, a guy that to keep an eye out for St. Bonaventure, only a freshman from Philly. We'll talk more about his homecoming on the other side. It's a homecoming for the Bonnies. Isaiah Brockington, who's from Philly and started Archbishop Ryan High School about 30 minutes from Hagan Arena. He was a first-team All-State performer at Ryan, coached by Joe Zaklinski. The sharpshooter shine at the competitive Philly Catholic League as a senior, averaging over 18 points per game. Has about 15 family and friends here today, and even some more that he couldn't get a ticket for.
No, absolutely. We mentioned that he's got a whole bunch of friends and family here. You know, he was on Philadelphia All-City first team with Colin Gillespie and Crosby Roundtree, the two young freshmen at Villanova playing for Jay Wright right up the road. He had to score a bunch of points in high school because that was his role. So he is fearless and full of confidence, as you saw in the opening dunk.
And the Martelli play works out of the break as Clover delivers. Brockingham from Northeast Philly played pickup at Pollock and Penn Academy. Went to Resurrection Middle School. Just loves being back here. Used to hang out the Franklin Mills Mall and the Chamonix Bowl as well with friends. Adams for a deep three. That was from Broad Street, Mark.
Yeah, that is NBA range. And he had a big smile on his face, too. You have to have your hand above the ball, Dave, at all times, because you put your hands down low, he's going to get that release up and out.
It's a nice backdoor cut to Newkirk right over Adams, and Shavar will go to the line. How did they get Newkirk going, especially without Kimball this whole year?
Talking to Phil Martelli yesterday, he said, okay, no more excuses about the ACL. You're not injured. You just missed 12 shots against VCU. You had a bad game. Now get in the gym and start shooting.
Ayeni from distance, and that's a guy that can really face up and hit that shot from elbow extended.
That's his game. He's not a back-to-the-basket low-post player. He's a 15, 17-foot jump shooter and a good one.
Our next Super Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, number 11 Texas A&M battles number 17 Kentucky at Rupp Arena. Then it's the 13th ranked Boilermakers taking on Michigan at Chrysler Arena in Ann Arbor. This SEC Big Ten doubleheader is on ESPN and also available on the ESPN app. How about Purdue, Mark? 2 losses to Tennessee and Western Kentucky. They're led by Carson Edwards and Dakota Mathias. They've won 11 in a row under Matt Painter.
Well, Matt Painter, year in and year out, gets absolute 100% and then some from his players. And that Tennessee team can play. Rick Barnes has got himself a good crew this year.
Anthony Longpre just checked in with the right hand there and gets the friendly roll.
That was just manhandle. Get to the rim and I'm bigger than you. I'm going to throw up a little jump hook and you got the nice roll.
St. Joe's up by 6. It's Adams penetrating. Adams from distance. That is his second long triple of the game.
Yeah, neither one hit the rim. Nothing but nylon on both from 25.
And deadlocks it at 19. In fact, he worked out for 3 NBA teams. Did not go to the NBA Combine in Chicago, as it will be an offensive foul called against the Hawks. We are deadlocked at 19 between the two schools. 8-10 battle going on here in Philly. Schedule at a pulled out some impressive victories on November 24th without Jalen Adams. Courtney Stockert's layup over Justin Jackson with 3 seconds left to throw to unbeaten Maryland. Stockert, who missed the last 2 games with a groin injury, scored a career-high 14. Now fast forward to December 16th against Vermont and Rochester. Adams finds Mobley, who drains the 3 before the horn to give the Bonnies 5 in a row. That was Mobley's first 3 of the game. 6 nights later at Syracuse, it's Griffin coming up with a huge block on Howard Washington to cap off the Bonnies' first win in the Carrier Dome and first over Syracuse since 1981. And then, Mark, the celebration was on postgame with the 2 New York schools separated by just 3 hours.
How about that jubilation? Well, when you win in the Carrier Dome for the first time, it's huge. You should celebrate, as Coach Schmidt and his team did. But I tell you what, you look at this resume, they have found a way to win, and that's what Coach Schmidt has done with this crew. When you get 4-year players, he's got senior leadership in the backcourt. They don't get worried when you're down, and you saw them knock down that winning shot against Vermont. Vermont lost a couple of days before that at Rupp Arena by 2 and should have beaten Kentucky. So they've had a great early season, these Bonnies.
3 losses this year to Niagara to start the year, TCU and Dayton. Keep an eye, the first 6 games, Adams wasn't playing due to a sprained ankle sustained in preseason.
And TCU can play out of the Big 12. They have a very good team. They're a tournament team. And Dayton just came out on fire on Wednesday, just outmatched the energy.
Good pick there by St. Joe's. Demery taking it coast to coast, and he's fouled. Andrikakis has the call. Nelson Caputo coming in to give Jalen Adams a breather. Mobley's been quiet. And another turnover on St. Bonaventure.
And Clover and Demery doing an excellent job in the last few possessions of keeping those guards from Bonnies under control.
And long play from distance. The freshman connects.
Nothing like shooting in your home gym, especially during the holiday break.
Crowd wanted a walk on Ayeni. Nonetheless, he gets it done from Nigeria, the sophomore.
Boy, he's keeping them in by himself up front, Ayeni.
Came to the U.S. in 2011. The game's still new to him, but he's a pick-and-pop format that Mark Schmidt's going to rely on, especially when they get to the thick of conference action. Longpre trying to go for 2 for 2. A little ambitious there.
Yeah, he checked. Yeah, that's probably a little out of his range and not the shot Martelli was looking for.
First 3 from Mobley is off the heel. Now, how does Matt Mobley get into this game? You see him forcing that one a little bit.
You know, in transition, he needs to get the ball behind half court and attack. He loves to get downhill.
Hasn't scored yet tonight. Here comes Brockington. Watch the speed for the Philly product. Caputo back to Brockington. Ayeni will tip it up, and this will be a foul on Josh Ayeni of St. Bonaventure. They isolate Ayeni again. Brockington with the pull-up. That's smooth.
Smooth and confident. Nothing like playing in your backyard.
Funk trying to take Brockington on the mismatch.
Great call, partner. I don't think Brockington thought. The scout report says he can't put the ball on the ground more than 1 or 2 times. He put it all the way on the ground to the rim and just caught Brockington, the young freshman, by surprise. Nice finish.
Here's Caputo, started the first 6 games of the absence of Jalen Adams. Ayeni finds Griffin on the weak side handoff.
Boy, Ayeni is really keeping his team together this evening. What a great pass. Now, he can shoot that 15-foot jump shot, so he attracted the defensive attention. The dump down for the dunk.
Griffin has to fill the void of Denzel Gregg. Was a captain, led this Bonaventure team in rebounds and blocks. Longpre trying to get his second 3. Last 2 attempts have been way off, and Mobley will just see it go out of bounds. But St. Joe's will go to this timeout, leading by 6.
Well, St. Joe's is out. They're hitting it. The dump down for the Bonnies, though. It looks like Dave Leno with the finish.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Get back to 100%. And in part by Degree Deodorant. It won't let you down.
There's a game-high 9 right now. That was tipped by Griffin. Saved by Funk. Throw to the hands of Mobley. Numbers here for the Bonnies. It's Mobley coast to coast.
And that will get the lid off the cover for the senior guard, Matt Mobley. Get in transition, get downhill. Why did Funk save that ball? That was deflected off of St. Bonnie. Would have gone out of bounds. Poor decision by the freshman.
First points tonight for the star Mobley. Last 2 games in conference action, 28 against UMass. Dropped 24 in the loss at Dayton on Wednesday.
This is Coach Schmidt's 2-3 zone. He starts with a 1-3-1, and it goes to the trapping in the corner. It's an outstanding defense. I watched him at shoot-around today, Dave. I wish I played it because you don't expect it. When you see a 2-3 zone, you don't expect that hard trap as soon as the big guy steps out.
And he has to love the deflections and the length that his team has possessed early in the first half, especially from Brockington, the freshman. Robinson for 3. Leva tried to get the miss. Instead, Adams checks back in for St. Bonaventure.
One of the first possessions, Dave, where I think you can say that was a forced shot for St. Joseph's. They've been doing a good job getting the offense in the rhythm of the game.
The basket will be a traveling violation on Iene, who was trying to lock this one up here at Hagan Arena, as Clover is going to come back in for St. Joe's and will replace Nick Robinson. Oliva down low for Demery over Griffin. It's Griffin with a clean block.
Great defense. Oliva not looking for his 3 at all, so he dumps it down low.
But St. Bonaventure is climbing back in this one, only trailing St. Joe's by 2. In fact, the Hawks are scoreless in the last 3 minutes plus. See how Martelli and company adjust out of the timeout. Demery on a good find, a beautiful time from Oliva.
Brockington just turned his head. The freshman lost the cutting Demery, and you have to know where he is because he loves to get the ball in the paint.
Demery now has 6. Iene doubled here. On the pick and pop, courtesy of Jalen Adams.
He really chased Jalen Adams off that 3-point line. And again, Iene is not hesitating with that 15-foot jump shot.
There's Demery on the opposite end.
That's his game right there in a nutshell, Dave. Catch, one dribble, take it strong, pull up with that mid-range jumper. Bonnies have done a poor job catching the ball at half court.
Monday night, we'll have the College Football Playoff National Championship game presented by AT&T between Georgia and Alabama at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app with a special Spanish language production on ESPN Deportes. Who do you got, Mark, in that one?
Go Dogs! Sick 'em Dogs, David. Young Caroline Plansky. Freshman at UGA is having not a bad first year in the SEC. I mean, how about the guard? I mean, the quarterback, the true freshman, Jake Fromm. What a game against Oklahoma. And, of course, you know, those 2 running backs that Georgia has. I don't know how you stop those guys.
Yeah, Nick Chubb and Sony Michel. Alabama and Georgia didn't play each other during the regular season and haven't been since 2015. Bonnies with 11 wins this year after their best start since the 99-2000 campaign. Inside for Stockert, and it rattles home.
They told me today he bench presses over 300 pounds.
Yeah, that's remarkable.
So you're not going to worry about his strength on the court.
And look at the speed by Mobley here. Ends up into Griffin. And they're going to reset here with Adams. 3 can tie it here for the Bonnies. Adams from deep. Way off. That was forced. Here comes Oliva. Getting past Brockington. Out to Demery for a triple. Yes!
At Dayton on Wednesday night, he picked up 2 quick fouls, didn't score in the first half, and St. Joe's has just done an excellent job of taking him right out of the offense in the first half this evening.
And Newkirk will beat the Horns successfully for St. Joe's, and they'll go to the locker room with a 7-point lead.
7-point lead, and the folks here on their feet. That's what it's all about here at St. Joe's on City Line Avenue.
The Hawks are leading by 7. But just Adams and Mobley derailed to 9 points. They average combined almost 40. Huge story to watch out for.
1 for 1. Phil Martelli's strategy is working in the first half. Need to keep it up in the second half.
St. Bonaventure on the road, trailing by 7. Coming up, our ESPN College Basketball Halftime Report. Welcome to halftime in Philadelphia, where it's the 3rd league game for both schools as St. Bonaventure is squaring off against St. Joe's. With Mark Plansky, I'm Dave Leno. As we dive into the A-10 thus far, Rhode Island and Duquesne are the lone unbeaten teams of the league, Rhode Island under Coach Dan Hurley is off to a hot start.
Well, it's a guard league, as we know, David, but man, they have 6 guards. Jarrett Terrell is unbelievable. E.C. Matthews, I did his first game back, and that kid can really play. And another senior that does not get a lot of fan lore, Stan Robinson. He's the glue to that team.
Last year, the A-10 got 3 NCAA tournament teams at Rhode Island, Dayton, and VCU. How do you see it going this go-around?
I think it's going to be 2. I think it's going to be St. Bonnie's and URI. I mean, if you look at VCU, they could stretch it. They have a wonderful player, Mr. Tillman, Justin Tillman, almost a double-double guy. But I think it's going to come down to St. Bonnie's and URI for the 2 teams in the A-10.
There's 5 new coaches in the league this year, so we'll see which coaches can adjust as the schools get to the meat of their conference slates. First half highlights and stats from Philly are coming up on the other side. 2 points tonight for the Bonnies.
Taking them right out of the game. Coach Phil Martelli's game plan was let somebody else beat me. And take a look, folks. Everyone knows where Matt Mobley is when he has the ball. Goes baseline, gets 3 guys. Comes out, tries to shoot a jump shot, fly at him.
Second half underway here at Hagan Arena. A-10 action continuing with St. Joe's in white, St. Bonaventure in the brown uniforms.
And I'm sure Coach Schmidt is looking for a higher energy level out of the brown uniforms than what he saw in the first half.
8th turnover there on St. Joe's. Here's Adams, who was just derailed to 7 points. Gives it off to Griffin. And the foul going to be called against the Bonnies. Charged to Idris Takei. St. Joe's doing a terrific job breaking the zone. They're putting it to the high post mark, and then they're spacing it out to the wings.
Well, they don't have any back-to-basket low-post players. They're all very comfortable playing facing the basket. And against the zone, when you have to cover 5 guys in the perimeter, there is no help.
Stockert trying to drive in. Oliva blocked him. Trying to get it back on his second attempt. In and out. Hauled in by Griffin. Brockington out to Adams looking for his 3rd 3. And he delivers.
Just put that in the book. You can't give Jalen Adams that much time. Great job with the cross-court skip pass by Brockington to find Adams wide open.
Give Adams 10 in the match. It quieted the largest lead for St. Joe's.
Here's that 2-3 zone, and they're going to run the baseline and then look to reverse the ball to an open shooter from behind the arc.
3 to shoot here for Demery for 3.
I should have been a coach. That was right on cue. And Demery, not a great 3-point shooter, is knocking him down this evening. Only 23% for the season, but that was wide open. Great use of the extra pass.
Brockington had a good first half. Off the hill, there's Oliva.
A lot of one-on-one basketball, Dave, right? Last few times down. One-on-one possession right there by Brockington. The last 2 or 3 possessions by Stockard. Not a lot of sharing of the basketball. It's amazing what happens when you disrupt that backcourt.
Now watch number 12 out there, Longpre. They're going to run a lot of these offensive sets through him as Clover drives in, off the rim. Gets out to Griffin. Adams regains possession for the Bonnies. Sees a seam that was tipped by Oliva. Newkirk will look to push with Demery. Trying to go over Stocker. It's going to be an offensive foul. Our next Super Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Number 11 Texas A&M battles number 17 Kentucky at Rupp Arena. Then it's the 13th ranked Boilermakers taking on Michigan at Chrysler Arena in Ann Arbor. This SEC Big Ten doubleheader is on ESPN and also available on the ESPN app. Texas A&M led by DJ Hogg and Tyler Davis. Billy Kennedy doing a fantastic job. Kentucky lone 2 losses this year to Kansas and UCLA, led by Kevin Knox. 5 players in double figures for the Wildcats. Brockington for 3. He needs to get going and feed off of that monstrous first half.
No, but again, a good skip pass, Dave. That was a shot within the rhythm of the offense, not one-on-one basketball. And Brockington, rather, is having an outstanding debut in his backyard of Philadelphia.
Longpre will give it up to Demery. Long rebound to Adams looking to push. Brockington. Back-to-back triples from the Philly native.
He is feeling it. That's how you get back. You asked me earlier how does St. Bonaventure get back. How about knocking down some deep threes?
Demery now for St. Joe's driving in. Kick out. Oliva, that was blocked by the Bonnies. It was Brockington, the freshman again.
What a closeout.
Stockert, though, lost it. Demery's trying to beat Adams and splitting two. Brockington picks it up for the Bonnies. Gives it off to Adams. Driving in with the left hand, blocked by Longpre, but a foul.
What a job getting to the rim. Longpre got all ball, Dave, but he got a lot of body underneath. If you want to take my guy out, I'll take him out. Brockington taking advantage of the opportunity.
Pull-up there from Demery was way off. That was the fourth foul on Taki of St. Bonaventure. Keep an eye on him. Adams driving in over Robinson. Just like that, a 6-point game. And Phil Martelli's going to have to call a timeout here. St. Bonaventure on a monstrous 13-2 run.
Led by defense and then getting to the rim on the other side. But hey, let's just give the credit where the credit is due. Isaiah Brockington, the freshman from Philly, leading the way for the Bonnies.
You know, the defense has really improved for the last couple minutes for St. Bonaventure. In totality, throughout the whole year, you see their numbers amongst the Atlantic 10. And that's the reason why they've gotten 11 wins as well.
Uncharacteristically in the first half, St. Joe's shooting 48% from the floor. St. Bonaventure getting away from their toughness on the defensive end. But you nailed it, partner. That has led the Bonnies back here in the second half by the defensive end. When you hold a team to 41% from the floor, that means you're up on them and running them off the line because you hold them to 29% from three. Now look, St. Joe's are shooting the ball really well, Dave. The problem is, you know, live by the sword, die by the sword. They're launching a lot of threes. They only shoot at 31%. You know, the numbers will tell you it'll come back to the mean. So Coach Phil Martelli knows he's in for a dogfight.
Martelli's Hawks have been in these type of games. 8 games decided by 6 points or less this year. They've gone 3-5 in those matchups. Out of the timeout, here's Longpre. Trying to feed it down low to Oliva on the weak side. Handoff, and there's Glover. 8-point game now.
Good example on how Oliva always sees his teammates on the offensive end. Great vision.
Adams starting to feel it for the Bonnies. That's off. Can't get his own miss. Instead, it's Chris Glover for St. Joe's. Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy in Philadelphia. St. Joe's leading by 8, and they are derailing Matt Mobley's third of the 8-inning scoring, just with 2 points. Clover's been all over him tonight.
He has been inside the shorts of Mr. Mobley. I want to know what flavor gum he has by the end of the game. Okay, this is pure face guarding. This is what I do when I'm matched up against Dave Leno in the pickup games in the playground. You're not touching the ball. And folks, he hasn't attempted a shot in the second half, only 3 for the game. Excellent job by Clover. Great coaching strategy by Phil Martelli. They've got themselves an 8-point lead. 7.5 minutes left to go.
St. Joe's led by as many as 17 in the second half. Three to shoot here for Clover. That's contested. And a big board there to Griffin. That was tipped, however, to Oliva, courtesy of the play by Nick Robinson.
What a pass! Great effort and the vision to tap the pass over to Checo. Outstanding.
Phil Martelli will be playing that particular moment in film sessions to come.
Absolutely. That is all effort all the time. And then the vision, that was outstanding.
Adams going to find Griffin with the right hand. He gets the roll. Newkirk with 8 to shoot. Griffin trying to go for the block, spirals out. Shabar gets his own miss and a fresh 30 for St. Joe's.
You know, everyone went for the block shot and forgot to get the ball. I mean, one thing to block a shot, but can't grab the defensive rebound.
Hawks are the top rebounding team in the A-10. Oliva with a crossover, trying to take Ianni. Can't get the roll. Another board here for St. Joe's, and Newkirk wisely pulls out.
Very wisely pulls out. In the crowd, the astute fans at St. Joseph's University know that's the way to play basketball. Third possession, courtesy of the offensive rebound. Usually this ends up with a bucket.
8 to shoot here for Newkirk for the step back triple and put back in by Robinson. 2 huge plays by Robinson, the sophomore out of Chicago.
3 shots in a row with nobody for the Bunnies blocked out. Robinson just with superior effort getting to the rim with the putback dunk. Not how you knock down a deficit.
Adams driving in, that was tipped by Oliva, cleaned up by Eddie, and swatted away Robinson. Who else? The sophomore for the Windy City, gliding here at Hagen. Listen to the crowd.
There's no substitution for energy. I mean, you can only control your energy level. You can control knocking down shots, David. That's superior energy by Robinson.
Offensive foul here on St. Joe's to the dismay of Martelli. Back to Robinson.
I mean, he's everywhere. He came down from the foul line, just attacking the ball, just wanting it more. That's all it is.
1:50 to go in regulation. Bonnie's down by 8. There's Brockington. Stocker nearly walked. Coasting in with the right hand. 6-point game. Quick timeout by Mark Schmidt of St. Bonaventure.
Phil Martelli switched it up, went to a 2-3 zone coming out of that extended timeout while they were checking for the possession. And Courtney Stocker just taking it to the rim. Great job against the zone, Dave. Find the gaps and get it with the pass or the dribble and just exploding to the rim.
6 to shoot for Newkirk with the pull-up. And a big board here for Stocker. 2-possession game. Stocker all the way past Funk. And Tim Cober's all over this after the play.
That's a good call by the referee. Stocker took it all the way right to the rim again, and then for some reason decided to swipe the ball out of St. Joe's Hawks' hands. I mean, just an absolutely silly play.
And a technical foul assessed to Stocker. And he has fouled out. That is huge for Mark Schmidt. A minute to play here at Hagen Arena. St. Joe's up by 4.
You know St. Joe's is going to take most of that 30-second shot clock. You have to box out and get this rebound if you're St. Bonaventure.
Newkirk. Oliva back to Funk. Robinson with the clock at 3. Trying to take Adams with the floater. In and out. Hole in by Ianni. Here come the Bonnies and stolen away by Newkirk, the senior. And Mark Schmidt and his coaching staff are all up. They wanted the foul from Taki. He is fouled out, and the crowd is loving it here at Hagen.
How about Javar Newkirk with the presence of mind to get in the passing lane on that transition, not to stop the ball, which is what you're taught. Look at this. He knows the pass is coming. That is an outstanding job reading the eyes of the ball handler and getting that pass to put himself up maybe by 6.